Your past does not entitle you. Whatever you've accomplished, whatever you've achieved, whatever yesterday was, doesn't matter today. Because evolution is real. Evolution is a very real thing. And tomorrow will come. And tomorrow is going to always look at you and it's going to say, what's next? It doesn't matter. As an artist, or artists know this better than probably anybody, because it doesn't matter what you accomplish. It doesn't matter how many hit songs you had last year, how many awards you won last year, how much experience you had in your gig, in your career. It doesn't matter, because tomorrow comes, and tomorrow will always ask of you what's next. And so artists are always in a state of perpetual resurrection. We're always going back to the chrysalis, into that cocoon, and going through that process of becoming something new. You know, we may have gone from being a caterpillar to a butterfly, but then we may have to go from being a butterfly to an eagle. You know, that's just life. That's just reality. That's just evolution, if you will. I say this not only to you, I say it for myself. I mean, one of the things I realized in this new journey in my life is I had to pull back away from the idea that somehow my past entitled me. Sure, I have a wealth of experience. Not only just with my most recent career, but you know, from when I was a kid. I've been in this thing for 30 years basically. So I have a wealth of experience, and in that respect, it's really become sort of my identity, and not even sort of, it has been my identity. And identity is everything, right? Like, we all need to find what we are, who we are, what we're about. And that is all sewn up in this thing called identity. And it's a very safe place to be. And it's a very secure and powerful place to be. But it also can be a complacent place to be. We're not meant to be comfortable. You know, that's the... You know, we keep looking for this hill where we could put our feet up on, but we're just not meant to be comfortable. We have to, if we're going to really embrace life, we have to really embrace the joy of being uncomfortable. You know, when you feel yourself becoming a bit at ease, do something. Well, in my case, it was basically a show shutting down. A great show shutting down. And you know, it's why it's why my hashtag now is the last Ringmaster. I want to make it clear, it's not a dismissal of anybody who's working as Ringmaster now. I mean, there are plenty of people working as Ringmasters all over the world. This is my own personal transition, my own personal journey. Of letting go, of crossing over, of doing something new. And so that's why I called it the last Ringmaster, because the goal is not to be stuck. And when you do something that really has consumed almost half your life, that really has the depth and breadth of such tremendous significance, both professionally and personally, and works and has a synergy where your professional and personal life interconnect so intimately, it's not something you just throw off. I mean, after all, I met my wife and we worked alongside each other. We had children who also got a paycheck. So we lived, played, traveled, and worked together collectively for 18 years. That's a lot, you know? And so you don't just throw that off, but you also don't get stuck. And that is a daily, even hourly choice. You know, believe me, I've already been up for I've been up for wonderful positions that I swear, in the description, they're describing me and I didn't get it. You know, I've gone to those auditions and utterly killed, just freaking killed, and didn't get it. And I'm not saying this, I can see it. Look, I've been in this long enough, so you know when you go in and you slay. You know, there comes a point where, you know, I'm at a point in my abilities where I know I got you. But I'm not, you know, I don't make those final calls. And there's a temptation, of course, when certain things don't work out your way and you've had such a tremendous pedigree, to kind of go, who the believe are these people? Don't they know who I am? The temptation's there, and rightfully so, I guess. But the reality is, again, life is the business of rebirth. It's the business of rebirth. And so that's really at the heart of this message that just came to me, really. It just was a breakthrough. You cannot dwell on what you were. Your past does not entitle you. You know, just like everybody says, let go of the hurts. And we all want to let go of our mistakes. We sure don't want to live in that past. Well, what about letting go of your triumphs, your achievements, what you've already done, and not using that sort of as a springboard anymore, but literally burning down everything and starting all over again? See, that's life. That's life. And then at the end of it, you look back and you have this tremendous body of work, this legacy. That to me is where legacy occurred. That's when you end up with a beautiful legacy. When you go, oh my goodness, and they did that, and they did that. Oh, and they switched over and did that. Man, that's what I want to be. You know, I think it would be tragic if I was just known as the Ringmaster. I mean, I still have more in me. I still have so much creative power in me. You know, but I'm just still in this interesting transition. And really it's a beautiful struggle because it allows me to discover new tools in myself. I mean, evolution's real. And so when you're evolving, you realize, wow, wait a minute. Well, I didn't know I had that. You know, that's why soldiers and elite athletes have a certain swag to them, a confidence, assurance in how they operate, because, you know, they've broken themselves to a certain point where they've had to reach in and find things. Or anybody who's elite, you know, you could be, you know, an elite author, you know, the elite, put it that way, the elite. That, you know, you earn that sphere, and those people, you know, that stuff isn't just handed to you. You know, you become a beast. I've seen elite people work, and it is fascinating. Really, I spent nearly 2 decades with them, and it's glorious to watch because they operate differently than us. They bleed, they sweat, almost like it's a privilege, you know, because they press toward that mark of brokenness, that they know that if I get over there, there's something new. So they're not afraid to go over there. They know what it is to be spent, to be, because they're always, because in that moment you actually discover something dynamic and new about yourself that's useful. And so this is what I encourage, I guess, this is what I'm encouraging anybody out there. You may have just got laid off after giving yourself so many years, giving yourself to a company for so many years. You may have just got divorced. Anybody who's been into any kind of relationship, be it with a company or with another human being, and it severs for whatever reason. If you've been in that for nearly 2 decades or more, or just a decade, that's a transition. It takes time. But I want to encourage you to understand that you don't have to stay in that. And I want to further encourage you to understand your past doesn't entitle you. It just doesn't entitle you. It's a new day. It's a new time. And you still have a choice of how you will pursue that which is in front of you. What are you going to do now? What are you going to be now? It's the beauty of being human, man. You can remake yourself. So there you go. The last Ringmaster,